You can meet me in the sky.
I'm delighted and very proud of our young people who are standing up against those horrors, and I fully hope that that will precipitate an end to the genocide. Solidarity also with Tata Steelworkers. The loss of 2,800 jobs is just horrific and devastating for the whole of South Wales. And shame on the UK government for not negotiating with unions and for putting so many people's livelihoods at risk. Solidarity with all workers on International Workers' Day. In education, we've had another year where we've been fighting for budgets, and we've been building for an indicative ballot and wondering whether we should go to formal ballot again. We closed an indicative ballot recently where we passed the threshold of 50%, but we took that figure to conference recently and had a discussion and decided that we wouldn't go straight to formal ballot, but we would wait until we got the pay offer from the IWPRB, and then we would do a quick survey of members to find out whether they wanted to go to formal ballot after that. So any districts are being told across Wales that funding is worse than ever this year, if that's possible. We had a recent budget meeting in my district, Vale of Glamorgan, where head teachers were told that they need to come up with radical solutions to cut costs. And when head teachers said that actually there was no other way to cut costs, everything's been cut to the bone, they were told that we should be thinking of pedagogical solutions. So clearly they want us to start cutting subjects, they want us to share subjects across sixth forms, and they're also suggesting that we have bigger class sizes, double up class sizes and things. My head teacher said, well, I can teach 450 pupils in an auditorium, but I can't assess them. So our schools are going to shrink in terms of the subjects we can offer if they don't get more funding. And it's going to be the arts that go first, music and drama. And as we know, those are the things that really have a lot to do with students' well-being. In fact, they're a lifeline for some students. So any action that we take this year is going to be about funding as well as pay, and in fact that was the case last year as well. A lot of it is about funding. And as if that wasn't enough to have to battle about funding and pay with Welsh Government, they have been pushing ahead with their plans to change the school year. Reform of the school day and school year was contained in the Labour Plaid Cymru Cooperation Agreement. There's no concrete evidence that reform would benefit either pupils or families, and many other countries have much longer summer holidays with no detrimental effect to children. But Welsh Government have pushed through with it anyway, and reform of the school day was explored and dropped, but they're still pushing ahead with the school year and changing that. They didn't formally consult with the unions, but they put out a public consultation which closed on February the 12th. And we're still waiting to hear about the response to that. During a meeting with the new Education Minister, Lynn Neagle, last week, we told her that the 50% threshold had been reached in the indicative ballot, that we had included a question on the school year, and that we would be pushing ahead to take action over that issue if they were going to push ahead with their plans. We told her that the issue was in the hands of the Welsh Government now, but they have to consider the real possibility that we're going to move to formal ballot and strike if they continue with this reform. We told her that we believe that the issue is a complete distraction at a time when education is in crisis. And we also expressed disappointment that there's been no formal consultation on the proposals with the relevant trade unions, and that the indicative ballot may well have been avoided if they had properly consulted with us. Unfortunately, it feels like education has become a battleground in recent years, and far too little thought has been given to how our children are bearing the brunt of this. Pupils with additional learning needs are losing the help and resources they need and they're entitled to because schools are having to make cuts and redundancies because of a lack of funding. Teaching assistants are always first to go when budgets are tight, and head teachers tell us they don't want to lose any teachers, but budget cuts mean that they have to do so. Welsh Government wants to introduce new curriculum and new ALM bill without the funding and training required to do that. They talk about our new innovative curriculum in Wales, but innovation costs, and they don't want to pay. Teachers are one of the most scrutinised professions, and there's never been made worse because head teachers are using capability to try and get rid of expensive teachers. So is anybody surprised that we have a recruitment and retention crisis in teaching? I'm not. Thank you.
Thanks, Marie. Welcome AJ Lebrun, speaking from RCT Trades Council.
There we get clip close to the mic so you can hear me. Today we commemorate the struggles and victories of the union movement. We stand together, united in our force for justice, equality and dignity in the workplace. Unions have been a cornerstone of worker empowerment for generations. However, it is not just in the workplace that we have strength. Unions and trade union councils have been the driving force of support for our communities. The Tories are demonising the sick, the disabled, the poor, and we need to continue to fight back. Rotherham and Taff Trade Union Council, since its inception, has supported food banks, local facilities, victims of war and genocide, and support our community as a whole. We continue to proudly be a united force against injustices. However, we should not have to do this. The UK government is trying to tear down our working classes and destroy our NHS, helping the rich get richer and profit off the people in this country. We must stand united against this abhorrent government. We must stand against the fat cats in their mansions, hoarding money in its millions, using us to do it. We must give the power to the working class, the backbone of our country. And we can. In our unions, there is strength. With unity, there is strength. Politicians are trying to erase our workers' rights. The NHS is being brought to its knees. The sick and disabled are being stripped of the right to live in comfort and in dignity. This is all a choice by the Tories. We need to fight back against the campaign against workers and unions. And if successful at the next UK election, we must pressure Labour to make sure they do not go back on their promise to strengthen our workers' rights. People are struggling to survive. Food banks are helping more people than ever. We are waiting years for healthcare. Families are having to choose between having a hot meal or a hot shower. This is not okay. The cost of living is crippling us, whilst food and utility companies rake in high profit for to make their shareholders richer, whilst our bosses fight against pay rises that would ease the struggle of their workers. As a collective, we can and must fight back against them. Friends, continue to support your union, continue to push back against injustice, continue to fight. Solidarity.
Thanks, AJ.
I think the trade union movement is starting to move forward as well, because so far it's been an all-woman female panel, so it's fantastic that we're starting to get more diverse. There's more to be done, but come on, we're all going to do it. Today provides us with an opportunity to celebrate the achievements of working people, to show solidarity with workers all over the world, and recognise there continues to be a lot to do in terms of workers' rights. 14 years of Tory austerity and incompetence has left too many working people without the dignity of being able to house themselves and their family, to heat their homes or to eat properly. Chronic lack of investment in public services, as we've already heard, means that our NHS is on its knees and many councils are in danger of collapse. This is the stark reality of 21st century broken Britain. I urge you all to encourage family, friends and colleagues at work to join a union. You have to do it. We can only win in solidarity. Without solidarity, the last 14 years lets us know what happens. Find out what they're particularly interested in, or listen to their problems and link these to trade union activities and values. So it could be the environment, it could be the equality. Young people care about things. Let's get them linked into the trades union movement. If you're not a union member yourself, then check out the TUC website to find out which union is best for you. We've already heard about huge job losses at Tata Steel that will have devastating consequences on working people and the whole community of Neath, Port Talbot and surrounding areas. It's absolutely tragic. And the unions are doing their best to stop it happening, or at least slowing it down so we can have a really just transition. But unfortunately, the Tory government in the UK are putting a kibosh on that. I want to tell you the plight of freelance workers in my union, Bectu, because they don't always hit the headlines, and it might be something new to some of you. Bectu has done a recent report called UK Film and TV Industry in Slowdown, a sector in crisis. The screen industry is viewed as highly successful, bringing in millions of pounds to the Welsh economy, to the UK economy, and to the global economy. And valued by us all here, I'm sure. It informs, educates, and entertains. However, the industry is reliant on a predominantly highly skilled, freelance, atypical workforce. This has been the case, especially since 1986, when Margaret Thatcher, do you remember her? Some of you won't, you're not always as old as me, but some of you will. But she labelled the TV industry as the last bastion of restrictive practices. That's because we had strong trade unions, and we were also showing programmes that they didn't want the public to see. They wanted Murdoch's type of programming, not the reality of what's happening in our country. This resulted in a move from secure, permanent jobs in unionised workplaces to a growth in insecure freelance work where individuals don't have guaranteed hours, they don't have sick pay, and they don't have unemployment benefits, and they don't have access to an employer's pension scheme. They have to do their own training and development in their own time. Funding problems at the public service broadcasters, which you might already have heard about, the slowdown in commissions from streamers like Netflix, and rising costs has led to a drastic slowdown in work. Many freelancers have not worked for months, and this is having a devastating impact on them and their families. As usual, it's the most vulnerable that hits hardest. Women, lone parents, those from BAME backgrounds and less privileged socioeconomic backgrounds are faring worse. And it's really important because sometimes the industry, the media and creative industries, it's people sort of from rich backgrounds that have the spaces of power, but there's been a lot of work in the last few years to diversify it, and that makes a difference because it determines who is making those programmes, what backgrounds they come from, and they will reflect working people. Otherwise, we're back to the elite. And that was worrying about what was the NU had just said about schools. You know what I mean? Culture, music, art. We all deserve, all our children, whatever their backgrounds, deserve to have that. But we're turning back the clock now, and it's seen as a nice to have and only for the elite. It's not good enough. The statistics are harrowing in the report that I mentioned. 64% of respondents in Wales said they were out of work. A third of the workforce, skilled workforce, are thinking of leaving the industry, especially those from underrepresented groups. 85% are concerned about their financial security. 69% are struggling with their mental well-being. And 22% had taken out unsecured debts or loans. Those working in the creative industries are not alone in having precarious work patterns, as we've heard about the agency workers. And there is a need for greater solidarity amongst the unions to ensure that these vulnerable workers don't miss out. There are examples of good practice in Europe. I mean, we don't always just look at the problems as union, we look at the solutions, and we will find the solutions. We just need government to listen. But in Europe, the progressive flexicurity model in Denmark and the basic income scheme in Ireland all need to be explored. It's just not good enough that people can't get into these industries. Finally, International Workers' Day is an opportunity to reflect and celebrate the history of the labour movement and what has been fought for, but also a stark reminder of the many issues, new and old, that still need to be addressed. Like my former comrade said, mewn undeb mae'r, in unity there's strength, solidarity.
Thanks, Sian, President-elect of the Wales TUC. Taking it back into public ownership, that is what needs to be done. Guy mentioned about Royal Mail. We've had, we deal with a privatised transport system. All of these things need to be taken back into public ownership. They are our industries, our services, our jobs, and they're what we need for a decent society. And politicians listening should recognise our movement will not stand back while jobs are slashed in our communities. We will stand together. We've stood together over the past number of years. We've seen the strike action increase over the past number of years, and our movement is on the rise. And on this International Workers' Day march and rally, we will remind everybody of that. We are the 99%. We are strong. And we remember the spirit of 1945. But we want better than that. We need to tackle the poverty, the climate crisis that we see in society. We need to fight for a decent future, for the services and everything we need in society. And when our banner is very proud to say Unite for Socialism, that's what we need. We need to actually take ownership of everything we need in society. No money for the fat cats. They've already absolutely ripped us off. No money for those people that aren't interested in our future and our communities. Tata aren't interested in steel, they're interested in profit. We need steel, we need railways, we need homes, we need services, an NHS, our postal service, our railway service, our communications, all the utilities. We need public energy companies to be brought into public ownership as well. We need a plan where everything is integrated so we can actually fight for our services and our communities. There's plenty to do, plenty of battles to be had, so we stand in solidarity with every ordinary person around the planet, fighting against injustice, fighting against war, and fighting against the bosses. So we're going to set off shortly, march around the city centre and have a big bang in terms of nice brass bands at the front, making loads of noise, making lots of noise, and make sure that every shopper in Cardiff recognises our movement is on the up, our movement is on the rise, and we won't take anything standing down. We will fight for our communities and we'll move forward. Thanks everybody.
Thanks very much, Patrick. I'm Derek Department, the Secretary of Cardiff Trades Council, where we've organised, as we always do, in May, celebration of May Day and the workers' movement. Solidarity to all workers. Solidarity to all young people. Solidarity to all oppressed people across the world, those who are in struggle at the moment, like the Palestinian people, against bitter state repression. Solidarity. So, with that theme in mind, we're going to be lining up. See the band behind you? They'll be in the front. Can I ask, firstly, the Tata steel banner is in the front behind the band, followed by the Cardiff Council workers who'll be on a magnificent strike, and we'll hear from them at the end of the rally. If you can go second, if the Cardiff Trades Council banner can line up behind them. Welcome to Queen Street Liberties and Private Rights Council on the annual March, May Day March and Rally to celebrate workers' victories, workers' movements right across the globe. Today, or Monday, is May Day. Celebrate with us in the sunshine, listen to the band, and be glad we're part of the workers' movement to fight for decent things for all of us. Are we all behind? Okay. the Cardiff Council annual march and rally for May Day, celebrating workers' movements and struggles all over the world, whether it be in Britain or anywhere. Workers' Day, Memorial Day, support the workers of this country and across the globe against that of exploitation. This is May Day, Workers' Day. Join us in the celebration. This is the Cardiff Trades Council march and rally through the streets of Cardiff to celebrate Workers' Day, May Day, to celebrate our victories in the past, but more importantly to continue to fight for victories for today against foes who try to exploit us, use us, whether that be in Britain or anywhere on the globe. Support our march, Workers' Day, May Day, here in Cardiff. The final part here, for those who are basking in the sunshine, this is the Cardiff Trades Council annual march and rally to celebrate one of the great days in working people's history, namely May Day and the fight against all exploitation. So if we can just line up in front of where I am, and then we'll have a few speeches. We're waiting for the second speaker system to arrive, so we'll just hang on a few minutes.
And every atrocity that they have been put through under illegal military occupation. But I can tell you here today, comrades, that the people that I know from Palestine, I stand shoulder to shoulder in solidarity with them, as they are the most bravest and most honourable people anyone could know. It's been 7 months and 75 years of heinous war crimes against humanity. This ethnic cleansing of the indigenous people did not begin as a response to the resistance of October 7th. No. The Zionist apartheid operating regime has lost control of the narrative to the global community. We have social media now. We can see the former Foreign Secretary Arthur Balfour's portrait being defaced in the London Gallery. We are witnessing the first ever live stream genocide to our smartphones and to our TV screens. The International Court of Justice has found there to be a plausible case of genocide to be brought against the terrorist state of Israel. The least we can do as human beings in the West is to withdraw any financial support that is aiding and abetting this genocide. Boycott made in Israel goods in the supermarket. Boycott Israeli products. Switch your bank accounts from Barclays, Lloyds, HSBC and NatWest. Cancel your Disney Plus subscriptions. Don't go to Starbucks. Don't go to McDonald's, Burger King, Pret and Costa. Stop drinking Coca-Cola and Pepsi products. To our comrades in the retail sectors, To our comrades in the retail sectors, I would ask you please to start leaving Israeli products on the ship, in the docks, at the back of the lorries and at the back of the shops outside. Israel is officially cancelled. The workers are moving across the world. The workers are organising across the world. Members are being balloted as to whether they want to handle anything that will lead to further suffering to our comrades in Gaza, the West Bank and East Jerusalem. To our comrades in the defence sector across these islands here in the UK, please contact your branch and regional officers and start organising industrial action. While under investigation in the ICJ, I say this very clearly, stop arming Israel. You will be on the right side of history. There is a call to workers around the world to take industrial action on May the 15th to stand in solidarity with our comrades in the trade unions in occupied Palestine. Choose your votes carefully. Choose your votes carefully when it comes to, well, whenever we get a general election later this year. No ceasefire? No ceasefire? No votes. We will finally get a general election from the outgoing, lying, cheating, unelected charlatan that is Rishi Sunak. If the candidates that you see on the ballot papers this year don't have the same aspirations as you in both domestic policy and indeed in foreign policy, then I'll say this very clearly again, vote the bastards out. Finally, all eyes on the Freedom Flotilla. Our comrade Gorani is back in Wales waiting for the vessel to be given the green light. The vessel was docked here in Tiger Bay this time last year. They were having dinner in the old arcade pub just up the way there. But sadly, they haven't been given permission to leave Istanbul to try and break the siege of Gaza. So please, I beg you, keep your eyes on social media. Please get in touch with your Member of Parliament, your Member of the Senate, to try and give them as much support as we try to lift the siege and let the people of Gaza breathe. We need to get the medical supplies in, we need to get food in, and we need to get the aid in that is so desperately needed, well, 76 years ago, let alone 7 months ago. So I just want to finish on this. We're only just getting started. Free Palestine until it's backwards. Solidarity with the students organising around the world. Solidarity with the Palestinian people. Victory to Palestine. Viva, viva! Palestina! Viva, viva! Palestina! Thank you, comrades. Victory to the working class. Victory to the workers.